I'm sure it took some time to kind of like decompress, kind of remove that from the data banks. But how does a
Yep.
driver do that? Because I'm sure at times, like me with my work, I sometimes go, man, if I hadn't made that mistake, I would have had a 10 out of 10 day. Like, what do you do to reset the button on that?
It's a good question. It's funny because I actually felt like Vegas taught me a good lesson. And I've really worked heavily in the last couple of years, and especially this year, on the mental side of our sport. I just truly believe that when you get in one of these top cars at the pointy end of the field, whether it's trucks, Xfinity, or Cup, the difference between you and the where you want to be is you. And this is entirely a mental game. Now you can't drive a slow race car fast, as Kevin Harvick likes to say, but when you get within the same realm, speed wise with your race cars, then it's down to you as a driver. And a lot of that is what happens between your ears up here. And so I felt like Vegas, when we got spun out by John Hunter Nemechek, I didn't do a good job personally inside the car of letting go of that moment that I couldn't control and focusing on the task at hand. And I think when I look back at that race, if barring a slow pit stop in the last green flag run, we were going to finish somewhere around 8th and 9th. We end up 11th. We recovered great, but I just felt like personally inside there was a little bit of a lingering not letting go. And so I worked over the next couple of weeks, especially at Phoenix, and having the issue in qualifying and letting go of that and focusing on the backup car and the task at hand. And we were really successful in that race with the backup car. We almost had a home run and getting a top 10 at the end of the race, which would have been, amazing. So those two races taught me the lessons that what happened at Atlanta, which was so disappointing because, it's one thing if it's a couple cars getting squirrely and running into each other. It's another thing when it's a champion of the sport who, I still don't understand what the intention was. Daniel called me and apologized on Sunday, but then I was shown some things that make me believe that I don't know how much of what he said was very true. And so I just disappointed and angry, and it's such a stupid move. It's it's a dangerous thing to do. And so I didn't appreciate that one bit. But part of what I went into all that other stuff was to say, that was letting go is a big part of that and being able to focus forward. And that's what I've done. And that's where I've been focusing fully on Coda this coming week. And that's the best thing. And sometimes the worst thing about NASCAR is that you go week to week to week. So it's really easy to kind of let go of the past because you have to focus on the future. You can't dwell too hard. And so that's what I've been doing.